One day, the rich farmer stood in the middle of the yard looking at his fields and gardens. Outside, the rice fields were laden with flowers, in the orchards were laden with fruit. Entering the house, he saw that the granary was full of rice, so much that the wooden beams were bent and bent. In the barn under the house are kept cows and horses, each one fat and healthy. Returning to his room, he passionately admired the furniture and the iron cabinet containing gold coins. Suddenly he heard a knock on the door, but it was a knock in his own heart. Then he heard someone say to him, "Have you ever done good deeds? Have you seen how many poor people there are? Do you give bread to the hungry? Is this much enough, or do you always want more?" Without hesitation, his heart replied, "I am inherently cruel and cruel. I have never used wealth to do good. When we see a beggar coming, we turn a blind eye. Heaven is my witness, I always want my wealth to multiply. Even though everything under the sky belongs to me, I still feel I Don and number 39 have enough." After hearing that answer, he felt scared, his knees shook so much that he had to sit down. There was another knock on the door, but it was the knock on the door of a poor neighbor with many children. He thought to himself, "My neighbor is rich but stingy. He probably won and number 39 help me right now, but the children are screaming hungry, so I and number 39 take the risk and go over and ask." He said, "I also know you Don and number 39 like lending, but at this moment I am a drowning man with a stake. I hope you will lend me 4 measures of wheat, my children are all starving." The rich man stared at him for a long time. A ray of sunlight made his icy heart drip a drop of pity. He said, "I won and number 39 lend you a loan, but I will give you 8 fights. One condition. ... The poor person immediately asked, "What condition?" "After I die, you have to sit and guard my grave for 3 nights." Hearing that request, the poor person shuddered, but in this difficult time, he had to accept any conditions. Uncle agreed and brought the wheat home. The rich man seemed to have a premonition of what was about to happen. Exactly 3 days later, he suddenly died. No one knew why he died, but no one felt sorry for him. When he was burying him, the poor man suddenly remembered the promise. He also wanted to ignore it, but then thought, "That person showed his generosity to me, giving me rice to feed my children through the famine. But even if that doesn't and #39 happen, if you make a promise, you have to keep it." At night, he went to the church cemetery and sat next to the grave of the person who had just passed away. The moonlight shines obliquely through the graves. Occasionally owls fly past to echo their fearful cries. At dawn, the poor man went home. The 3rd night also passed without incident. On the 3rd night, the poor man had a feeling that something was going to happen. As soon as he got near the church, he immediately met a man standing at the foot of the church wall, his face full of scars, his bright eyes looking around for something, wearing an old coat and revealing his boots. The cavalryman wears it on his body. The farmer asked, "What are you looking for here?" "In a deserted cemetery, Don and number 39 you feel scared?" The other person replied, "I and number 39 am not looking for anything, and I and number 39 am not afraid of anything. I am like a young man who likes to travel around the world to see what fear is. But I Don and number 39 see anything, I and number 39 am like the richest person in the world but still have nothing, poor and still completely poor. I and number 39 am just a discharged soldier. Because I have no other refuge, I sleep here tonight." The farmer said, "Well, if you Don and number 39 know what fear is, then stay here and guard this grave with me." The other person replied, "Guarding is the job of soldiers. Whether something good or bad happens, we both enjoy it together. We Don and number 39 have to worry about it." The two held hands and swore and sat down together. Until midnight, the scene was still as quiet as a sheet of paper. Suddenly there was a whistling sound of wind. The two of them looked up and saw the demon standing tall in front of them. He shouted, "Move now, fraudster. The person lying in this grave is mine. I have come to take him away. Get out of here, or I and number 39 LL wring both of your necks now." The soldier spoke up, "Hey, red-haired man, you are not my captain and I have to obey your orders. I Don and number 39 know what fear is. Go your way and leave us here." The devil thought to himself, "Only gold can get rid of these two bastards." Then he changed his tone and asked them cordially if they would go home if they got the bag of gold. The soldier replied, "That and number 39 's true. But a bag of gold is not worth it. If you will give us enough gold to fill one of my boots, we will both be willing to leave this place." The ghost said, "I and number 39 am not here with that much, but let me go get it. In a city nearby, I have a rich friend who is willing to give me an advance." As soon as the demon disappeared, the soldier took off his left boot and said, "We have to give this black demon a shot. Right, buddy, let me borrow a knife." The soldier cut off the shoe sole, placed the shoe in a hole with tall reed grass, and said, "So everything is in order. Now the old black devil like a chimney sweep can return." They both sat down to wait. Soon the devil arrived, carrying a small sack full of gold. The soldier said, "Just leave it and see." The soldier gently lifted his boot and said, "Watching is not enough." The black devil poured gold into the boot. The gold fell from the bottom of the boot into the hole. The boot was still empty. The soldier shouted, "You stupid devil! I told you, that and number 39 's enough. Go back and get more." The devil shook his head and left. An hour later it returned, carrying a bag of gold larger than before. The soldier said, "Just pour it in, the boots will probably be full." The gold clattered but still did not fill the boot. The devil peered in with wide eyes and said, "Your muscles and tendons as well as your boots are so strangely big." The soldier replied, "Do you think I have horse legs like you? Where did you learn that dirty habit? Go get some more gold and come back here, if not, then forget it." The devil had to turn away again. This trip takes longer. It came back with a heavy sack that weighed its neck. It poured gold into the boot, but the boot was still not full. It got angry and tried to snatch the boot from the soldier and number 39's hand. But at that moment, the first rays of sunlight shone on the devil and number 39's face. He screamed and disappeared. So that poor soul was saved. The farmer was about to divide the gold, but the soldier said, "Please distribute my share to the poor. I will come and stay with my uncle in the thatched hut. With the remaining gold we can live together in peace for the rest of our lives." Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.